Mostly Dead Things by Kristen Arnett. This is a very good novel. I gave this 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It is about a woman who owns a family taxidermy business. She inherits it from her father, who inherited it from his father. So it's a family business, but really, at the moment, she is the only one working. Her father has killed himself and has left her to run the shop alone. Her brother is not very good at taxidermy, not super interested into it. So in a way, she's sort of the golden child. She's the responsible one. Her brother had a little expected of him, and as a result, he is this sort of maladjusted adult who can't really keep a job down, isn't super responsible. He has children that he sort of looks after sometimes, and a lot of the pressure of keeping this whole family together falls onto the main character Jessa. And this book is less plot based and more of a character study. It's a very, very interesting, compelling look into this very dysfunctional family, but they're very authentically dysfunctional. This feels like a real family. They're based in Florida. They're poor, but not like dirt poor, but like pretty poor. They have very like real person struggles. Again, the brother can't hold a job. The brother's oldest son is a recovering addict who like dropped out of school. He started working at the family shop, helping Jessa. There's a younger teenage daughter slash niece. Jessa doesn't have kids, but she sort of is raising her brother's kids. The mother is out of the picture. She just left, which is also a sort of very real, compelling thing. But you get insights into this family through the present day plot and also in flashbacks. So you find out in these flashbacks that the mother of the children was not only in love with the brother Milo, she was also in love with Jessa. Jessa was having an affair with her the entire time before she skipped town. They were all childhood friends. Bryn is the mother's name. Jessa's the main character. So Jessa and Bryn were friends first, and they were fooling around first as teenagers. And then Bryn ends up marrying the brother Milo, presumably because she's not out. She wants the stability of being in a straight relationship with a man who's mostly good. Again, he's not super responsible, but he's very loving and emotionally caring and available. So she marries this good man to do what's right. She's a teenage mother. She ends up having 3 kids? 2? I forget. But she's also sleeping with her husband's sister the entire time. And then you have Jessa and Milo's mom, who has sort of gone off the rocker during the divorce. You discover the relationship between the mother and father was sort of more fraught than the children knew. Jessa idolizes her father, wants to be like him, wants to run the shop like him, thinks he's this sort of aspirational goal, but he was also a man who killed himself, so like maybe that's not a great goal. But that's the point. The novel knows that. The other characters know that. These are all very much dysfunctional, flawed people, but in a real way. Charming is not the word I want to use, but in a charming way. Like, you're endeared to these people. You don't hate them, even when they're making bad decisions. They still just feel like real people, and you're rooting for them to grow. You're really immersed in them as a family unit, and you're rooting for them still. So it's really a character study, and it's also pretty funny in places. Like, it's definitely not a comedy. Some of the reviews for this will kind of talk about sort of the humorous elements. There's not like a ton of humor. It starts off a little humorous, but it's mostly heartwarming and sort of literary. I guess the funniest thing in this book is the mom is an artist. She takes these taxidermied animals and starts making like erotic art out of them, like having the animals in sexual positions with each other, like cross species. Or she makes like a mannequin of her husband wearing like BDSM gear, riding on top of an elephant, a taxidermied elephant, things like that, which very much disturbed Jessa, who's, you know, sort of the rigid kind of backbone of the family, who's like, my mom's gone absolutely nuts and crazy, and I hate this art, and I hate the way she's using these animals. She's very much invested in the craft of taxidermy and wants everything to be perfect. She's sort of a perfectionist. This is like the one part of her life that she really can control, and so she takes a lot of pride in her work, and then her mom just bastardizes it, I suppose you could say, or defiles it is a better word maybe. So you have all of these complicated family dynamics, and that's really the core of the novel. You have the daughter and the mom are fighting over this art. The mom's in an art exhibition she's actually like working there. There's like this gallery in town that really takes her seriously, and Jessa is sleeping with the woman who runs this gallery, but is also like, why the hell do you like this art from my mom? It's fucking awful. It's horrible. And she's like trying to convince this woman she's sleeping with to take her mom out of the show and to stop indulging in these sort of weird inclinations. And then she finds out that woman is maybe having an affair with her, like that woman might be married. So there's a lot of complicated dynamics there. Jessa is also not a good partner because she's dealing with all of this stuff in her personal life and her family life. She's basically raising her brother's kids, which she sort of in a way thinks of as her kids because she was in love with their mother, and she's taken care of them so much, and she really has an affection for these children who are like adult. They're like teenagers. One of them's like legally an adult, but she's basically their mother. And she's still sort of in love with Bryn, the mother, a biological mother, who ran away. Even though, I mean, Bryn obviously ran away. Clearly that wasn't like a soulmates type of relationship, that they were just so embroiled in each other's lives for so long. They grew up together, spent so many years together. They were each other's first loves in a way. And so Jessa hasn't let that go. She's really sort of bitter that Bryn left her. She's not over it. She has a drinking problem, which doesn't actually get resolved by the end of the book. I don't want to give like a lot of spoilers. Again, it's not a plot heavy book, so I really can't spoil a lot. But she never like admits that she has a drinking problem. She talks about how I feel like she kind of knows she has a drinking problem, but she never, at the end of the book you expect her to be like, okay, I'm gonna hamper this down. I'm gonna drink less, I'm gonna stop, maybe get some help, maybe do some therapy, because she wants her mom to get into therapy, so you think maybe she'll also get into therapy and maybe get sober. That doesn't happen, which is kind of sad. I mean, I guess that's realistic. That does happen where people don't admit the problem to themselves. She does grow over the course of the novel, though, in terms of the way she views relationships. Again, she's sort of clinging on to this woman who just left her entire family. The brother is also clinging on. The brother was in love with her as well. So then you have a fraught relationship between the two siblings. They were best friends as children, but now as adults they don't really know each other. And I mean, the brother kind of knows that his sister was sleeping with his wife. And so they have this interesting dynamic. And then the children have this weird dynamic where their father isn't always reliable, and one of them doesn't even remember the mom that much because she left so long ago. And the other one's also sort of bitter about the mom leaving. So you just have this really, really complex family dynamics, and that's really the heart and soul of the novel. And it's quite well done. I really enjoyed reading this. You can just tell it's good writing. The author really knows these characters. They're very realistic, but they're also quite unique, you know. They run this taxidermy shop, this family taxidermy shop, and the mom makes this weird sexual animal art. It's unique, but it's relatable, which is a good thing. You'll see sometimes people want to write very blank characters, blank slate characters, so that the audience can project themselves. The reader can project themselves onto this blank slate of a character and make them whatever, as maybe they operate as a self-insert, or, you know, like a slate for the reader to see themselves in the novel in a way. But that like doesn't ever work. Like, it's just not interesting. You don't care about characters who have no personality and no quirks and just nothing unique or interesting going for them. And these are very much interesting, unique, well crafted, thoroughly crafted characters with like a lot of backstory, and the backstory is delivered very well in both the present tense and in these flashbacks, so you really get a good insight into all these characters and where they came from and how they got here. It's just a good book, good literary fiction. I really like this. I liked it more than I thought I would. I have another Kristen Arnett book on hold at my library. She just released a novel called Stop Me If You've Heard This One, which I was anticipating. This was on my list of some of the most anticipated books of the year, just because I'd seen this. This was on my radar. I knew this was coming out this year, and I wanted to read it because it has a unique premise. It's about clowns and magicians, gay, lesbian clowns. Never read that before, so I had to read it. And also, this cover's hideous. It's not good. I've got a clown on the cover, pun intended. A strange cover. This caught my eye in kind of a bad way, but I do expect this book to be good, actually. If it's as good as this one, I will be very happy, even if it's a little less good. I have faith in this writer. Again, this book was well written, so I'm assuming that her next book will be as well. I don't think this author has a lot of books out. I think this might be like her third. I'm seeing like some anthology stuff she did, maybe. It'd be like short stories, I'm not sure. I need to look into this author more, because I do like her writing. And if the second book is good, then she'll be on my list of like good contemporary authors to look out for and read more releases from, as long as they're Sapphic. I don't read a lot of books about straight people, but these two are Sapphic, so I'm assuming a lot of her books will be Sapphic. Yep, that's it. Like and subscribe, whatever, if you want. I do book reviews. I read mostly Sapphic books. Like, most of the books on this channel are about lesbians. I do in-depth book reviews. I do sort of wrap-up book reviews. I talk about books. Yeah, if you like gay books, stick around. That's it.